Hello, welcome to Topicality. My name is Antonius Brown.
And I'm Irvin Bryant.
Today we're going to talk about a couple different things. First, impeachment, what's happening next.
And then Tyler Perry.
Yeah, the case for and against Mr. Perry. Finally, a little dab on pop culture of Disney Plus and
The streaming wars and the NFL.
yeah, the black quarterbacks on the rise. So first, with impeachment. So the first question is, what is the Democrats' plan?
Right? If we bring up articles of impeachment, if they're doing an investigation, you got to establish exactly what are the quote-unquote, as the Constitution says, crimes and misdemeanors. Now, we started yesterday. It's in full swing, bringing witnesses to testify before Congress. But what do we see?
So what the Democrats' plan seems to be is to bring credible witnesses who are longtime bureaucrats, like Mr. Taylor, who worked under 5 different administrations. Another guy who also worked underneath a couple different administrations, Democrat and Republican, right? So they all worked in the chain in the State Department between the Ukraine and the United States. They saw what was going on. The problem is none of them work directly with the president, right? So none of them are Rudy Giuliani. None of them are the two knuckleheads who just got thrown, who just got caught with Giuliani.
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani's legal aides who were caught red-handed.
Yes.
You got me now.
John Bolton, he has actually a gag order from the executive branch.
Executive privilege, which is a constitutional right that the president has to protect his information because he is the president. He can do what he wants.
Up to a certain point. So the question is, I guess the Democrats' plan is that because we can't get the people who are closer to Trump, the next best thing, people who are long-standing, worked in the government, who are above reproach, as like the book
Yes,
would say.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The issue arises where in proving guilt, you have to do that beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, this isn't a court of law, so the burden is not exactly the same. But what is apparent is that there's two sides here, two equally fortified sides of people who are experts at spinning. In the words of Dave Chappelle, we live in the age of spin. So what is the Republicans' spin?
Oh, it's a doozy. So.
I know it. It's the least we can expect.
So first thing is that the first argument is that, well, the Ukrainians didn't know that aid was held up. That's shown to be a lie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Secondly was that if Donald Trump did not do a quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
That's also a lie.
Yes.
Secondly, that if he did it, it's not a bad thing, right?
Right. Now that's arguable.
Yeah, that's morality. You know, whether you want to end up when you die, a whole bunch of other questions.
Okay, there you go.
Should be answered with that one. And lastly, you know, these people who are coming, they're not Bolton, they're not Giuliani, so therefore they didn't talk directly to the president.
Exactly.
So therefore it's hearsay. You can't prove what the president thought he was talking about. You can't prove what the president wanted to happen. So therefore, if the president may just wanted to investigate corruption in Ukraine, right?
Right. And so if we have all this uncertainty, we've only seen one day of these testimonies, but the fact of the matter is trying to talk literal experts in foreign policy, people who work for the executive branch of the government, trying to talk them into a soundbite is kind of foolish.
Yes.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. And if they don't want to be the straw that broke the camel's back or that one factor that topples the Trump administration, they won't be talked into it. So how long can we expect Democrats and Republicans to fight over these people and try to get them into what they want them to do?
So one anecdote real quick. So yesterday when Mr. Taylor was talking, Stonewall from California, Stonewall, I forgot his name is, he ran for president, and that shows how much that campaign worked. I can't remember his name. Anyway, so he was talking to Taylor, the ambassador, and he was saying, well, is it wrong? Is it a crime for the president to do what he did, right?
Yes.
And then Taylor wouldn't say yes or no. Is it wrong?
Yes.
Taylor said, yes, it is wrong, right? So that is the closest soundbite we have so far, right? The next question is about the executive privilege, right?
Yes.
The Congress can go to the Supreme Court and try to get this solved. But first they go to district court, and if a district court, you're going to go to the appellate court, and if an appellate court, you go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can decide not to rule on it, right?
Yes.
Now, if it is an issue of extreme fight among the branches, right? It's not just like a small...
right, this is huge when it comes to checks and balances.
Right.
What can the president protect from Congress's checks? Congress is trying to check the president because they think you've done something that is a high crime or misdemeanor. And then where do you draw the line where presidential power stops expanding and congressional power can now stop the president from doing something bad.
Right. So, and the Supreme Court has never ruled on this before.
Nope.
They've never shown the appetite to want to rule on something like this.
We've never really seen it necessary. Last
Right.
time we had a similar situation, the president just kind of resigned. He didn't want the smoke.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think we've come to the point where we realize that the rules and orders that we were so used to
Yes.
keeping the union in check. Right?
Yes.
Keeping the checks and balances going. When someone says, I don't want to play basketball anymore. I don't want to dribble the ball at basketball anymore. I
Right.
just want to run.
How do you force them to?
Yeah. How do you force them to dribble?
You can't fight them off the court.
Yeah. So what happens when Shaq just is like, I'm dunking on people.
I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, Donald Trump is Teflon Don. He is
Yes,
Chicago
indeed.
mobster in the White House. It is a problem. Go vote. That is your best bet 2020. I would say at the end of the day, don't bet on impeachment. Take him out the White House.
No, it looks like a long process, and it may hurt the Democratic Party in their bid for the presidential office. It may help. That is yet to be seen, right? How does dragging out what the Republican spin is a witch hunt? How does dragging out this quote-unquote witch hunt affect the Trump base? How does it affect the Democratic base? Does it fire up either one? Does it exhaust and make us dejected, cynical, and not wanting to participate? How does it affect your voter base is something else yet to be seen.
So the last thing I'll leave you with is that in 2017, in a historic race in Alabama for the Senate seat, the Democrat won. 2018, we had a blue wave. 2019, we had Democrats make gains in Kentucky and other places. So there's an upside to it. There's also a downside. We can get to see what happens next. But thank you. And we'll come back and we're going to talk about Tyler Perry, the case for and against.
Absolutely. Short. I'm assuming they already.
Prairie View A&M University is about the students. Students don't just come here for the education. They come for the faculty, for the creativity, the camaraderie, an excellent standard of living, and the school spirit. They come here to gain something profound and to give something back. Students come for the tradition of excellence. This is Prairie View A&M University. Our tradition, your opportunity.
We'll take you 4.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. It's going to have fun.
We can double team against.
And we're back. This is Topicality. I'm Irvin Bryant.
Antonius Brown.
And now we're ready to discuss Tyler Perry. Now, I'm sure you remember the year is about 2003, 2004.
Yes.
My auntie just came over to the house with what she always contributes. You know what I'm saying? A whole CD case full of bootlegs.
Yes.
And it's a whole
Yes.
new sensation. Not a movie. It's not The Godfather. It's not Goodfellas. It's not Training Day, which we all had on bootleg.
Yes.
But a play, a stage play that's been filmed, which is already an oddity for myself and my family.
Yes.
But it was a play by and for black people. FUBU, for us, by us. And it was a great time, right? Fast forward, the man who directed, wrote, and starred in these plays that were largely disseminated via bootleg, eventually got legit DVD releases, eventually sold out theaters upon theaters, TV shows, movies, et cetera, he opens up a multi-million-dollar studio, acres upon acres, the physically largest studio in the United States,
Yes.
Tyler Perry Studios.
Yes.
Question is, do we support this man as he has built something very black, opened up many doors, increased representation in a bunch of different ways, or do we deride him for the actual content, the images, the stories that he tells about us dark-skinned African folks?
Yeah, so, and more for the case 4, right? So, I remember us going as a family to see, what was it? The Diary of a Mad Black Woman in the movie theater, right? Yeah.
Nope.
You not see? Oh, yeah.
Bootleg.
Yeah. We saw the movie theater, unlike some people, because we wanted to give a black man our actual money. And it was a good time, It was fun, I remember Badia saying, "Rip it," when she was trying to rip the dresses.
Yes.
It was a great time, She had homeboy, about to drown in the tub. It was all fun, right?
Yes. Domestic violence.
Yeah, it's a problem. And anyway, but I do remember the feeling of giving a black creator
Yes.
money, and the feeling of seeing us on screen
Yes.
meant something, right? If you remember Black Jeopardy, when
I absolutely adore Black Jeopardy by Saturday Night Live.
yeah, but Tom Hanks' character, you know, he says a movie where I can laugh and pray at the same time
Yes.
is a good time,
Laugh,
right?
cry, and pray.
Yes.
All in one sitting.
Yeah,
But
and that's what Tyler Perry tried to give to us.
yes.
The but to it, though, is what about the images that he conveyed, right? So, like, do you remember the Boondocks?
Of course I remember. It doesn't even matter which episode.
So, their whole script of how Tyler Perry movies went, you want to recite for us?
Yes. Favorite little monologue by not Huey Newton, but Huey Freeman.
Yes.
He gave a description of the movie. This dark-skinned, bald guy makes a lot of money, has a uncharacteristically beautiful wife. It doesn't make sense how good this woman looks, but she's putting up with all the mess. He's got a woman on the side. He hits her. He does all this, and eventually he just steps out on her. He's tied over. He's kicking her to the road, and so she finds Jesus. All right, Medea rubs her shoulders, give her a pep talk.
Right.
She finds a lighter-skinned man with a fantastic hairline.
Shamar
who
Moore.
will- Yes, Shamar Moore, who will take care of her and give her what she needs and deserves.
Yes.
And then, you know, the story resolves. Problem is, in all these different things, you see the colorism
Yes.
that's present. The displays of masculinity are very narrow. The displays of femininity are often, if not always, victimized.
Yes.
And so with all these different ideas circling around the narrative, that's not even in the characterizations, right? Just the narrative arcs that he draws in his stories, time and time again, people start raising questions.
Right. People smarter than me, you know, LaShawn Etheridge, our producer over
yes.
here, right?
Very good at that kind of thing.
She was talking about the fact that he displays women, right? So, and he was talking the fact that her exact words, he hates women because they
Yes,
seem to
Tyler Perry hates
suffer
women, yes.
so much in his movies, right?
Diary of a Mad Black Woman is his magnum opus.
Yes. Also, I don't like the way he portrays black kids. A lot of times they all seem to have a smart mouth, and they all seem to always seems to be the same child over and over again who can't behave. You know, that Medea has to whip into shape. And I'm like, that wasn't me as a child. Mainly because Antonio Brown wouldn't allow that in his house. But secondly, just that's not all black kids.
I think it's because, is Tyler Perry a boomer? No, he's not. He's Gen X.
Yes,
Yes.
Gen X,
But that's
yeah.
some boomer stuff.
Yeah.
That's definitely something a boomer would say.
Also, real quick aside, there's a long line of people Oprah has co-signed who are problematic. So Tyler,
Another day.
yeah.
Now, further on Tyler Perry critique, Medea. You got to talk about it. They're
Right.
almost synonymous. The man does play Medea. There's two main critiques. One, in the black comic community, there is the pledge of many proud black comics that they will not don the dress.
Yes.
You see that with Martin Lawrence wearing a dress and doing, or the muumuu in this
Yes.
case, the house coat for Big Mama's House.
Yes.
Tyler Perry in the same way. And it's something that they see as emasculating, right? Tearing
Right.
down the black man, making him always dress up and look silly in his most buffoonish character. And then you see the other critique, which is more my favorite, more my style, the more academic critique that this is a continuation of a characterization of black women of asexual, ridiculous, violent, servile, and just something beyond, something less than, something outside of human, where it's not a black woman who is my big mama, Medea, whoever you have in your family who is a matriarch. It's a cartoonish caricature of that.
Right, and even then, the big mama, the mammy.
The mammy, thank you, is the name of the archetype.
Yeah, it still goes into that and feeds into that, right? And the good, so if we take the good with the bad, right? So like, sometimes we can bring it to like even Spike Lee has the good and the bad
Absolutely.
of what Spike has done, right?
Yeah.
But I cheer when Spike got his Oscar, right? So we can take the good and bad of Tyler Perry. If he's gonna help black people eat, should that be the thing we should applaud in the end, right?
Right, because without Tyler Perry, we would not have a Logan Browning. I'm a big fan. We would not have a Taraji P. Henson.
Right.
We all know cinema's better for her
Right.
presence.
Yeah, so I do think, though, if they're raised up in the school type and they produce the same type of works, then there is a problem. Then if the fruits of the labor are not, they're not what we need, right? I think at some point we have to move past what Medea was and move to a better place, right? So, like, I need us to start doing more Wakanda and less Diary of My Black Woman.
Check me out, though. I would submit that this is a part of a lineage of black people, for better or for worse, doing what is necessary to get to a certain place, right? When you talk about respectability politics, capitulating to popular culture, et cetera, our ancestors did some things that we're not exactly proud of, right? Vaudeville was not good to us. Minstrel shows involved black people from time to time. And so the fact of the matter is Negroes had to eat, and we had to get in where we fit in. Now, I would hope and pray that this is the last entry in that lineage from vaudeville to blaxploitation to Tyler Perry, of us giving our image over to others and doing what they would rather see us do rather than what we would rather see us do. Now, we'd rather see us, right? You went to go see Tyler Perry, not because of Medea, but because it was us. Now we have Wakanda.
Right.
So my hope and prayer is that at Tyler Perry Studios, we can get a little more Dear White People, a little more Wakanda, a little more Do the Right Thing, and a little less Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
I will say this, though, last point. Malcolm X was made in 1990 or 1998? 1998, right.
I believe.
Okay, well, Malcolm X was made way before Diary of a Mad Black Woman came out.
Yes, Spike Lee's Malcolm X.
Yeah, so, I mean, do we actually need to continue to do that same song and dance?
Questions remain. The film A Raising of the Sun was made before Rudy Ray Moore's Dolomite, and that is some clownish, cartoonish, buffoonish mess.
Yes.
So history doesn't work in a straight line, right? But hopefully it's an altogether progress.
Yeah. And then, you guys are the comm students, talk about it in the comments. Because I maybe just be talking out my behind here. But again, I will be back. We're going to talk about Disney Plus, NFL, and the rise of the black quarterback.
All right.
Traditions are not made overnight. They are created through a legacy of excellence and a commitment to something much greater. For more than 135 years, Prairie View A&M University has provided students with a strong academic foundation, a unique college experience, and the opportunity to make their mark on the world. This is a place where friendships are formed, discoveries are made, and dreams are realized. This is Prairie View A&M University. Our tradition, your opportunity.
Welcome back to Topicality. I'm Antonius Brown.
Urban Bryant.
Right, so first off the top, we're going to talk about the NFL, the rise of the black quarterback. So right now in the MVP discussion, right,
Yes.
There are several black quarterbacks we're talking about.
Indeed.
So you have your Deshaun Watson here from Texas. You have Lamar Jackson up in Baltimore. Michael Vick-esque ran all over the Patriots.
Yes, it was beautiful.
The Watson and Lamar play this weekend is going to be an amazing game. You have Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Pat Mahomes.
He won the MVP last year. And then
light-skinned brother.
Yeah, light-skinned. Yeah, doing amazing
with the helmet
things.
on, you may not be able to tell, but when you take it off, you're like, okay.
And then Colin was Cam Newton won it a couple years back, right?
Yes, yes, for the Panthers.
For the time again, we've seen the rise of the black quarterback. Why is this important? Because when I played football, it was when I was younger, but still, I think the important thing is the ideal that black athletes who want to play football, many times we're told that maybe you should do something that's more attuned to athletic skills.
Exactly.
The quarterback's thought to be the thinking man's position, right? It's why John Elway is praised, even though, let's be honest, John Elway to Michael Vick can't hold a candle to Michael Vick's abilities on the football field.
I believe for those who are, like myself, football averse, never played the sport, I'm not going to let people hit me for fun. There's a Key and Peele sketch that illustrates this idea very well, where Jordan Peele, Keegan-Michael Key, play sportcasters at a desk much like this, and they're describing different players as the screen cuts to Tom Brady. Wow, a leader. Fundamentals, intellect. He analyzes the field and he makes a play happen. Accurate. Cuts to a Michael Vick, brute strength, like a Neanderthal, almost like a gorilla. He's just unhuman with how his natural talent pushes him forward. So the black quarterback narrative is greatly framed by the idea that white men, and this is classic, American racism, the white man is a thinking man, a planning man, a strategic man, a leader, and the black man is one who has talents, but they all lie in the physical, never the cerebral.
Right. And then, the reason why this is one thing is last quick point, right? So, Mitch Trubisky, most of y'all don't know who that is. He's a Bears quarterback. All you need to know is that he sucks. But you need to know that he was drafted number 2. Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, drafted way lower than him. Way, way lower. They're both, Patrick Mahomes has the MVP. could win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. Deshaun Watson's in the conversation. That's all you need to know at the end of the day.
Houston Texans quarterback in the history of the team.
And that's because, at the end of the day, people in scouting talent, they continue to use these same terms, intelligence, things like that. But hey, the rise of the black quarterback is a beautiful thing. Watch the game this weekend. Put some views on the screen. To Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I'm about to say, there's one black man we haven't mentioned.
It's a real convoluted story, but I'm going to give the real quick details, right?
Yes.
Cliff notes. On Monday or Tuesday, the NFL called Colin Kaepernick and said, we want you to have a tryout on Saturday. The reason why that's weird is because Saturday's college football day and people are watching college football players for NFL.
Also, as just an adult and a professional in any way, you're not about to call me to fly to a whole other state to work out and try out for anything with a week's notice.
Yeah. Secondly, they said you have 2 hours to respond. 2 hours, yeah.
Sounds like some mobster stuff.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick's people got back to the NFL and said, well, can we have a list of the top executives who are going to be there? The NFL said, yes, we can do that for you. They have yet to provide that list. Teams have called Colin Kaepernick and said won't be there. And then the Bears coach came out and said he's not going to be there. Other teams have said they also probably won't show up. So at the end of the day, it feels as if the NFL set my guy up, And it's a sad state of affairs, because, as a veteran, I think, I'm going to use our one word today. It's complete bullshit that Colin Kaepernick is not playing because someone said that he kneeled for national anthem and disrespect for the soldiers. It's not a thing. I don't know why that is a thing. That is just racism to the core.
On the other hand, now this has been settled in court, right?
Yeah.
The NFL settled outside of court, multi-million-dollar settlement. My man got paid. He still got to be black, still got to make his statement. He won, and I would like to say that we won as a people, but other people may disagree. The problem lies in the idea that fundamentally the NFL, football, I'm always talking about hip-hop. Football is unlike hip-hop, unlike basketball, where it's about the talent. The talent is what shines. The label, the team, the company, the franchise, all takes backseat to the player. NFL isn't like that. It's a sport that relies so heavily on the team dynamic and the mentality being so white men led for so long, unlike other popular media, competitive media. It doesn't allow for an individual like Colin Kaepernick. Stephen A. Smith, notable sports commentator, said the only one who can mess this up for Colin Kaepernick is Colin Kaepernick, because if he forwards his message of equality, fighting against and protesting police brutality, protesting the national anthem in that he doesn't believe that America supports him, if he forwards that message ahead of his football playing talent, which is at a professional level, undoubtedly, that is the only thing that's going to keep him out of a contract with the team, because teams need that kind of talent. The Chicago Bears would be at 100% benefit of if they recruited Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think I need to put a gag order or something like that, though. To me, it's a problem, because, LeBron James is still LeBron James, even though, when what's his name, Trayvon Martin got killed, they came out as a team together.
Absolutely.
Right.
Hands up, don't shoot. LeBron James. The Chinese are my friend, LeBron James. Okay, whether he's being progressive or regressive, he's still the points are on the board,
right,
and he's going to play his game.
Yeah. Lastly, real quick about Disney Plus, right? So I just got it, right? I was surprised the fact that there are so many Disney movies on there, right? So
it is an avalanche of content at a extremely low price.
Right. So I realized something. I was going through the Disney original movies, a little package.
Disney
right?
Channel original movies.
Yeah, Disney Channel original movies, right?
Yes.
And I
pieces
found,
of crap.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Let's go. Let's talk about it. It's a classic.
And I'm going to age myself. Read It and Weep. Do you remember that one?
Read It and Weep. I don't remember the content, but I recognize the name.
Yes.
You're older than me.
And also Stuck in the Suburbs, which is
Tuesday, Motocross. Right? Don't get me started the 13th year. Go ahead.
But also, I was feeling nostalgia. I was remembering when I was a child, after school was over with, I could sit down and at 7 o'clock, Lizzie McGuire, Gillen, this is Disney Channel, do the little thing, and I was home, right? So the question became, Disney Plus seems to be built on the nostalgia idea.
Absolutely.
Netflix and Nickelodeon just combined together to bring out a whole bunch of old Netflix stuff.
Hey Arnold.
To Netflix.
Cat dog.
So why is I asked the question? Someone who's very versed in the idea of the internet, how it works.
Yes.
Why is nostalgia seem to be the major selling point of these companies?
I think it's going to mark the 21st century as one that remembers media more than anything else, because in the same way that the car invented the teenager, right? It invented a level of independence and pure commercialism that wasn't available before, right? The community changes, suburbs change. With the advent of the internet, our access to media has been evolving. What we do with it, whether it be watching anime or other countries' media, right? K-dramas, European shows, whether it be watching low budget, independent works, right? Skits, prank videos, etc. We're evolving to the point where the corporation, ABC, NBC, CBS, right, the networks, have access to the internet and are now using it to commercialize. What are they going to do with it? What can they do with it? And the best thing they can do is use a backlog. They have so much invested in creating media, they have nothing to do but sell it. And we as a consumer have never had the ability to basically do a way back machine with our televisions and enjoy, motocross from the Disney Channel original movies that came out in like 2001. I want to go back there. It was a good time.
Like my mom sat down and watched with Netflix. I had the HBCU show the Cosby put on. It's called Different World, right?
I was about to fight you. Yes, not the HBCU show.
I mean, it's about an HBCU, right? So anyway, so my mom went back and watched all the episodes. She had watched it through the first time. When we sat down and watched it over the summer, it's because she wanted to watch it again. It was a bring back our old feeling, right? I question the economics of it. I question at some point, when does it break? When do we want something new, something different, Also, whenever they seem to do something new and something different, like with Rugrats all growing up, I can venture to say that was bad.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens when we demand new stuff? Can they deliver upon what we ask for?
And we've kind of already seen it begin with Hollywood, a new Terminator, a new Rambo,
Sonic.
Both of them, throw them away.
Yeah.
They're bad.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog, it's an old game. I played it on the Genesis back in the day. I am an old man, but I don't want the movie.
Yeah.
Throw it away. They've improved a lot of things. It's not something that's contributing something new.
Right.
And so when we talk about new ideas, new discourse, new possibilities in media and storytelling, especially in making things more diverse, giving different people access, if our media diet is so bogged down in what is old, then how can we evolve?
Here's a bow on it. Hey, Tyler Perry, you want to start doing better media, this is the lane for you. I'm waiting for somebody black to put out their own Godfather, right?
I'm gone. Power.
Yeah, very good, actually, yes. Not Empire, though. Anyway, that's today's episode on Topicality. We talk about impeachment. On Friday's next hearing, I look forward to that. Talk about Tyler Perry, the NFL, black quarterbacks, watch the game this weekend, and find Disney Plus and Nickelodeon Nostalgia. I'm Antonius Brown.
Irvin Bryant.
This has been Topicality.